Brother, I tell you what, I feel like I've been living with you for some time, like working through your website, trying to create the front funnel of the main page, but then also the real story branded landing page sequence for the clean air systems.
Yeah.
So based on your amazing input, Scott, and our conversations, I've really woven together a lot of elements. And I'm pleased to tell you that I made more progress than I anticipated. I actually have your
No.
email sequence completed as well. Hope that's okay.
No. Great. Yeah.
Yep. So we're ahead of schedule, which I'm really, really pleased by. So I'm going to share with you today two things. I'm going to share with you a wireframe for your new website, which takes
Okay.
the message that we've gone through and it turns it into a concept for the internet, for your website.
Okay.
And I'm going to share with you an email sequence and talk about how that kind of connects. Okay?
All right. Works.
Good deal. So let's take a peek. Now, this is not your website, but I wanted to show this as an opening frame for you so that you would be aware, like, this is traditionally what a wireframe looks like. Typically, a
Okay.
wireframe is a sketch out in position concept. What I do with my wireframes is I carry them further and I actually put images, icons, in position graphics, and what you're going to see is going to very much look like a website. But I want to just give you
Okay.
the word of caution. It is not a website, what I'm showing you. It is a graphic file. So always be thinking this frame with whatever I show you. So the reason I tell you that is because we can change anything very, very quickly right now. If there's a word
Okay.
that's off or a graphic that's off, we can modify that very easily right now. This is the right stage to do that because ultimately when you
Okay.
hand this over to the web team and they start implementing it, they actually build out your website, they're going to look to this document and say, this is my marching orders. In fact, I probably would like to have somebody from your web development company sit in on a future call so I could talk them through the implementation of it.
Okay.
So anyway, this is just for frame of reference so that you know what I'm showing you is very movable, very changeable. It is not the website, though it will likely look like the website to you on an iPad.
Okay.
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 So this was a stock photo. You see I've got iStock that's imaged in the background there. We got to find
Yeah.
a good photo that would work. I really appreciate your discernment of saying, hey, your service tech is used by other companies, so an action shot of him might not make sense. But
Right. Yeah.
I did want to be descriptive of, so this is a stock image that we can purchase the commercial use license for. And
Okay.
it kind of shows the HVAC, and a brick wall is representative of many homes in your region, I presume. So
Yeah.
I tried to be at least as authentic as possible to your industry.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now, again,
Yeah.
thinking through this here, what we're really doing in this front series of screens is we're redrafting the main front page for heating, cooling, service. We haven't gotten to the brand script yet. This is just the main front door that we needed to rewrite.
Okay.
Okay. And then you kind of have you see here some internal notes, and I can talk this through with your design team, or your development team. But like systems, heating, cooling, clean air, schedule service. This should be a floating menu bar that follows us throughout the site. And get a
Okay.
free estimate is the primary call to action, and schedule service is the alternate call of action on the main panel. So before I move on, how does this resonate with you as a front panel compared to where you're at currently?
Yeah. I mean, it's simpler.
Simple, clean,
Yeah. I like it.
unmistakable. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In a word picture, and again, I think you did a great job designing aesthetically, but the dog and
Hmm.
the kids outdoor versus a heating and cooling, a picture speaks 1,000 words, and can somebody very quickly see with imagery exactly what it is that you do. That is the
Okay.
main purpose of that front panel, the main hero panel of your site. And so I think being a bit more descriptive can be to your advantage in this panel.
Yeah.
Then aspirational identity now will start showing what it looks like after your service is done well. So now I've got your demographic, and I'll give you a second to take a peek at this, and then I'll talk you through it.
Yeah. I like it.
So this is the aspirational identity of your ideal audience. It's that now we're talking to that couple with kids.
Yep.
Now, again, this is kind of my interpretation of your current website and our conversations. We did not go through this as a specific brand script, but I did the best I could with the messaging based on all that we did discuss for the more broad message of your corporate identity. So what we provide is year-round comfort, because that hits the heating and cooling. The other thing is, because we have high-efficient systems, we lower your energy bills, which hits the need of somebody just going to an HVAC company's website. Again, this is the main panel only. And then I did head nod total home health to pique curiosity, to make the front funnel draw the allure to people into the brand script of that message. So that's available there, but we're hitting, you know, even your testimonials, some people are saying, hey, it was the hottest days of the year. Year-round comfort is exactly what they're going for. Lower energy bills, that helps my pocketbook, and then the total home health. So those are the three things. Aspirational identity with a nice stock image, and then I kind of took some liberties and wrote copy for you here with the home being your sanctuary.
Yeah, I mean, I like that part, definitely.
So clean, inspiring, very non-mechanical. This is very like emotional. And by the way, this, when I say your home should be a sanctuary, the first thought in your mind is what? Is it? Is my home my sanctuary? And I'm self-identifying with the problem. So this is my way from using StoryBrand techniques to help people self-identify with the issue that they need to have solved.
Right.
Now check this out. I'm so happy with this.
I like that, yeah.
So you see the image in the background?
Yeah. That's the whole area. Yeah, I like
man.
that. Really good.
I geeked out on this panel for you, brother. I'm like, oh, you know, it'd be so cool. Let's put this back there. And I was like, well, how much do you think they've saved? You know, in utility bill, millions of dollars saved. Probably, you know, since 1997, if you really add up all the systems and, you know, several thousand bucks each. I mean, by the time you do the math, it's probably in that. Isn't that just, I just think this is such a cool panel. I love this panel.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Okay. And again, this is your main message. So this is the foundation of your company, the heating and cooling and service. This is it. And then we're still doing our head nod to the IQ Air. There's probably some icon. I just picked one up off the Google, but there's some icon we probably want to use for licensed and insured, bonded. And I think your design team can also create a custom logo for you or icon that says, you know, serving the greater Columbus area since 1997, something like that. Just a concept of that. Again, remember, think this. It's a wireframe, but I wanted to give you more of a vision of what this could look like in the web environment. And everything that's done here as well, I'm pretty confident this should be a pretty plug-and-play design for your designer. Very, very plug-and-play. Nothing so far is like, go ahead.
Yeah. The only thing on this, and I'm just sitting there staring at it, that the map in the background, does that even matter? I mean, because it's not really the focal point, but I hate to pick something like that, man. I hate to be picky like that, but you slid it up because that would be more the service area. You know what I'm saying? Like, with a map, the map kind of like go down in this sense. You want to go north. You want to see more northern Columbus.
No problem. So that's what I'm saying. This right now, it's a simple graphic file. Easy to make
I was like, man, I don't
changes.
want to be picky on that, but
No, hey, I need that from you, brother. I don't know, the particulars there. I need you for that, for sure. So look here. Something like that.
Well, really, you see that 80 right there, kind of in the middle, top of the screen, right there. If that could be like down toward the bottom,
and then you'd be
far
north of there.
Yeah, we service far north of that. Oh, yeah, the northern half of Columbus and Phenix City. All that works. All that's a part of it. It's just, if we're going.
Yeah. So I tell you what, probably the best thing to do is I'm going to capture a new map because I don't actually have pixels up there. So let me just say, I'm going to just write myself a note here, north of 80. And then I will get a new image. This is perfect feedback from you, Scott. This is absolutely what I need from you.
I did see over here to the left, to the west side, it did mention Ladonia.
Yep.
I don't know if you could somehow get that in there. Here, I'll just give you kind of the boundaries.
Yeah.
And you can fit it in. I don't.
You got it. Hit me.
So Ladonia, if you can get it in, that'll be great. That's not a necessity. It's not even a city. It's a little town that's got it is growing, but it'll never be a city. It's just a town. It's Phenix City still. So, kind of north, our northern boundary is going to be like Fortson in Georgia.
Fortson, F-O-R.
Yeah. T-S-O-N. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's okay. And say your west boundary, if it all fits, would be say Ellerslie or Waverly Hall. May not be able
Alabama.
to, but I'm just.
Yep.
No, that's Georgia.
Georgia.
West boundary is going to be in Georgia. Yeah.
Okay.
And the east boundary is Alabama. So yeah, I mean, if you can fit all that, that's great. But if you don't, if it don't get in there, just.
Okay, gotcha. Yep, I'll work it out. You got it, brother. I'm happy to. Okay.
Only what is it? Only high C people would probably even pick that off.
I love it. Well, you're talking to a high D that will be happy to get it done.
Yeah, good.
I love it. Hey, all right, so check this out. This might be a little bit of a stretch, but you've already got Google reviewed. Do you know Jason Sasser? Do you know Kim Andrews?
Oh, yeah.
These are clients of yours, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you've already got a Google page with Google reviews. There is technology that you could implement. Now, I got to talk to your web dev team about this, where they could just aggregate the 5-star and up Google reviews from your Google site over to this. Filter only the 5 and up that come in live. If we can get that to happen, that's the best case scenario. If not, I like the idea of using some of these personas, some of these testimonials that we can aggregate from the survey that you've put out. And I'll show you a concise listing. In fact, maybe this is a good time. Let me pull this up.
Now, we do have a review, a review generator system that we use. It's called Nearby Now. I don't know if you saw that.
Maybe I missed that. Nearby Now reviews.
Well, it's on my website. So if you see reviews on my website, that's where it's coming from. Now, that's only Nearby Now reviews. That's not the Google reviews or Facebook. That's just if somebody didn't have a Google account, they would just leave it. They got 3 options when that link comes to them. So.
Yeah, the highest octane that you'll get is a Facebook, Google, or social media where their actual headshot or their Google image merges in,
Yeah.
where it looks so authentic.
Yeah,
That
no
looks
doubt.
like it just came. That's going to be your highest octane. I could talk
Yeah.
with your web dev team about integrating that. And if that is too much for them, or you don't want to go that direction, I got you a plan B, which is the testimonials that I've story branded for you. And,
Okay. Good.
in fact, it'd probably be just easy to send this to you. I'm realizing I didn't ask you to capture the names, but it would be helpful to have some names on these. So even if you just had, even from the survey, these testimonials, if there's somehow that you could go backtrack and tell me who said what, that would really be helpful, on these surveys.
Oh, I didn't include the name.
And it's an oversight on my part. I guess I didn't really think about asking for the name, but then as I was typing, I said, wait a minute, I have no idea.
Yeah, I may not have.
Now, your grandmother I got, and actually, I don't know if I captured your wife's name.
Yeah, I probably didn't do that. I'm sure I didn't know her.
but
I'll get that.
But minor detail, minor detail.
Yeah.
But at any rate, I wanted to give you a plan A and a plan B for this because I think including social proof is a powerful way of displaying authority and empathy. Okay. So again, aspirational identity of the backdrop image, but then we've got this social proof that is either scanning, scrolling across, or people can click through it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And then this is our what we do panel, and really it exists for SEO for your site. Google will honor your front page of your site higher ranking than any other page on your website. So I'm going to get right to the nitty-gritty of what you do right on the front page. And I'm going to do it this way in images. Now again, I need your technical red pen here to say, nope, we're not going to use Carrier, we're going to use RUD. And I need, your technical input on that. But I think this is how your designer should display these systems, but then also list the services underneath. So I need your red pen for this, afterwards. I'll give you the PDF, and you could red pen it up and send it back.
Okay.
But in concept, does this make sense to you?
Oh yeah. I mean, I would just I would just put the RUD system on there. That's really it.
Mm-hmm. And my hope is that I carried the ball to the 1 yard line for you. So any input that you do offer, it's simple, and not, we don't have to rewrite the whole thing.
Oh no. Yeah. I mean, I may do some like down there at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
All of that we do. Is there any weight to the order that's in?
Perhaps. And feel free to mix them up if you'd like. I just want to be sure that we are as Google search engine friendly with this panel. Most people may not even read it, but they're going to search it. They're going to search it. So I want to be sure that we are including these terms on the front page of the site so that Google indexes them. When people search them, they put your page up top.
Okay.
I can't guarantee it'll be top. That's kind of like a pay to play type thing, but you hear what I'm saying. I'm trying to get you SEO.
Yeah. You want it to, you don't want the page to be the problem. You want Google. I got it. I mean, on that, I would just maybe move the repairs up to the top left.
Yep.
In that box down at the bottom. And maybe swap it with that air duct cleaning.
You got it. Coming at you. See how easy this is right now? If we were writing website code, this would be a whole other story. But boom, done. That's how easy that could be. That's why I love the wireframe step, because changes are simple. And again, it's blocking, tackling. When your designer gets a hold of it, they're going to say, holy smokes, this makes things so much easier, because they know exactly what to build. They don't have to ask you. And so here's the next panel. Experience a more comfortable home in 3 easy steps. Step 1, get a free quote. Step 2, choose your system. Step 3, enjoy energy efficient comfort. Then right here is where I say already have a system, service and repair. So I'm still acknowledging the fact that they may not be coming to buy a whole new system, but they want to schedule service. So we have an alternate call to action right there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, that's I guess the only. Oh, oh goodness! I'm dropping the iPad. The only hang up there is, is it? Is there any way to put maybe that already have a system in the top somehow?
Up here?
Does that mess the whole flow up? Well, just kind of where they can see it a little better, because I mean, I'm thinking that most traffic, and this is just me thinking with no data to back me up, is they're going to come for that service and not necessarily a replacement.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe a different story now that if we're going to do an email campaign that's going to, drive it there. So,
Yep. One thing that is going to be in front of them all the time, and you know what? We could talk this through, though, brother, because you might say, hey, I don't want my website to sell new systems or replacement systems. I want it to sell service. And that's going to be what we want to be known for, is serving, servicing.
Yeah.
My gut tells me sell the system and let that be the anchor of the sales page, because people who come for schedule a service are not going to scroll. They're just going to click schedule service. They're not going to need to be held to that.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. So I mean, usually if they're reading, they're probably researching. So
right, not for service. Service, they're going to read your name and click service, or maybe not even click service. They're just going to pick up a phone, call you.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, yeah. So, all right, that makes sense.
The reason I chose Get a Free Estimate is because I'm like, okay, if I'm going to write story branded sales copy, I want it to create a good revenue occurrence for affordable heating and cooling. This is the biggest bang for the buck. So, but again, you could sit with it, bounce it off your wife, and just, discern. Because if you want to make that change, I'm happy to do so.
I get the point, and I'm okay with that.
So I got an idea for the future. If you wanted to down the line, we could design and story brand kind of this ebook or digital guide, 10 ways your HVAC system will make and save you money, and talk about the energy efficiency of it. Maybe it's like a checklist of sort, and make it a free PDF download that on this page, again, this is the main parent page. This could also trigger a 5-part email sequence that sells this, sells your service or sells a new system. It's like a lead generator for it. And then I thought, hey, it's just fine to have, some of the existing navigation that's on your site. Let me just illustrate this for you. Up here, you've got all these drop downs. Quite frankly, as I looked at your Google Analytics, my best guess is that people aren't sure exactly where to go. I think there's a couple pages that received the highest view, which was like your systems page or something like that. That's why I included systems right up top in the floating menu. But beneath that, everything else is kind of split shot on your analytics. So I said, okay, we don't need these links up top. Nobody's using them. Let's at least put them down here. You don't have to lose the pages, but let's just catalog them at the bottom of the site. And let's see, when we don't distract the viewer, let's see what a clear, concise message does, if that moves the needle for you. Because I'm hoping that we will be able to look at data in a month from now or 2 months from now and say, people actually went to the pages we wanted them to go to.
Yeah.
Rather than hunted around and then just picked up the phone because they couldn't figure it out. So that's that. Let's see here. Subpage, get a free estimate. This is just simple form. If we want to add anything, now's a good time to red pen that. If you want to add anything to people who do a request. Right now, I will say this, brother. I'm in your corner here, but you get a free estimate, or let's see, what'd you have? Maybe you need all this information, but this form just seems astronomically long to me.
Yeah.
It seems too cumbersome as a user. So I encourage you to red pen the fields here if you want to add some fields to the form. But I would say go minimum effective here. Think lowest barrier to entry. That's what we want for this. Okay. Here's a concept for you, and I'll just let you soak this in a minute. And again, you might change some of the words here when you red pen it, and I'm open to that.
Yeah, I don't see no problem with that.
Okay. And I don't know if there's other contractors or if it's just the two of you or if we just feature you. I'm open to any combination of that. I just wanted to kind of cast a vision of what it could look like. And then go ahead here. I story branded your bio. So just trying to have the customer see their story in yours and to see that you're a human. You're not a
Right.
sales guy. You're not some corporation that they can't reach out to. You're a person. And again, if you want to, go ahead.
Yeah, on that the top paragraph,
Mm-hmm.
the father of 3 little boys,
Yeah.
and then you add 2 little girls.
Oh, love it. Love it.
So other than that, everything looks good.
Yeah. Again, this is not one of them stodgy corporate bios. The reason for a story branded bio is just to tell a story that you're human and for the viewer to see empathy.
Yeah.
To see empathy. Here's the subpage for heating systems when they click that. And again, I'm giving your design team some graphic instruction here, like an icon. Like they may have an icon inventory they could just click and use, but I just want to draw people's attention to these 3 differentiators.
Yeah.
And just give me a verbal head nod when. Go ahead.
Is there a way to add something about safety on these heating systems? Because that's kind of what I'm talking about now is safety inspection. That's what we're talking about right now because, when it comes to heating system, it's all about being safe. Well, that's usually where if something in the heating and air system is going to be dangerous, it's in the heat side. Okay, yeah.
So, something like this here.
Yeah, yeah.
And quite frankly, there will be some that read all of. Now we're deep into the site at this point. There'll be some that read it all, but many of them will have already made a decision by this time. But we want to give the opportunity for those who want to, deep dive.
Yeah.
And okay, so let's see here. That was sometimes I'm writing and rewriting the pages, so I'm going to put this down at the bottom because that's not my final draft. That was an earlier draft. Okay, and then again, I don't know which cooling system we want to go with. Same thing there. Sometimes I rewrote several of these many times. I want to give you the final version though. Okay. And so I threw Carrier in there because I know that's a reputable brand. And you'll see I switched over from kind of a warm color palette to a cool color palette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't mind using other logos and all because we do work on all of those. So I don't want somebody getting the impression that when we put a system in there, we're going to put a Carrier in.
Well, so I don't know.
Oh, goodness. I dropped it again.
You see these buttons or these bullets here? The idea is that you could have kind of a rotating carousel of variety of different brands, but display one at a time, like every 2 seconds they change over. But that's an example of something I want to talk to your design team about because, I understand how to code that. I just want to make sure it's not added cost or time. I want to make sure that you get the biggest ROI for every change that they make. And this would be, something that's kind of auxiliary down the line. So we could talk through that, but I did make some visual cues for that.
All right. Yeah, that worked.
Okay, now we get into, believe it or not, so how do you feel about your main page? This is your main company page that we just talked about. We didn't even talk about the clean air side yet. How you feeling?
No, good. Yeah, it looks good to me.
I'm telling you what, brother, I just want to sit back and have a watch party with your analytics,
Yeah.
a month or two after you implement, and just say, okay, there it is. See that? I can't guarantee anything, but I
Right.
think this is so clear, so much more concise, and I'm excited to see it implemented in your business, and the impact it'll have to you guys.
Yeah.
So here's the Clean Air landing page, the front panel here.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody clicks Clean Air, this is the landing page they draw up. And now our transition is request a call. This is our call to action, because it is a more complex system. It's not just get a free estimate. We're not commoditizing this one. This one is the boutique. This one is the white glove service, red carpet, 5-star service,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because these are those full air systems.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like the image and all, man.
I tell you, brother, I think this one, every time I look at this panel, even though I wrote it, I get emotional. Thinking, oh, that's what I want. And if I'm the viewer or user of this service, this is what I hope is true after I make this expensive install. I invest this money, right?
Mm-hmm.
I might need some technical input, for terminology and phraseology here, but I think we're very close.
Yeah, I like it. Now, all right, the only thing that if you're ready to reduce the harmful air particles in your home to 0.
Yep.
That's the only thing, just making claims like that. That's some of the things that scare me. But at the same time, if you put that picture you had was of the what you call it,
Child.
the first one with the Health Pro Plus, that standalone unit right there, that's one you put in a room. That's not for the whole house. It will.
Yep.
That you can easily test that one in the bottom. You'll have all kinds of junk going in and out of the top. There will be actually 0. So I guess maybe we can claim 0, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I've just made a quick little adjustment. Take a look at the statement now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with 0. I mean, I just don't want to get, well, he said 0. Well, 0 coming out of it. So I mean, that's good too. So whatever you think is most effective.
Well, I don't want to put you. Yeah. I don't want somebody saying, "Hey, we did a particle scan a month later and we got 1 particle. I want my money back." You don't want to have that.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I've demoed it, and man, it's 0. I try to demo it right in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on that one, it's very easy. Now the whole house, it'll never be 0 just because it's, unless it just can't be.
Yep. Let's start with dramatically.
So yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. And this is where we're going to use the family photo.
Golly, that's an old one.
Well, you can update that and put the other kids in there.
Yeah. Goodness gracious, that's old. That's all right. So we need a family photo.
Yeah. And ultimately, this could be in position for your designer, and then you could forward that to your designer when it's done. But
I got you.
Yeah, and I think the one you got here isn't going to be broken, but if you want to replace it, now's a good time to do it. So I took basically your brand script here, and you see I used a first name signature. Of course, this is not yours. It's a first name signature of the word Scott, or the name Scott. But studies show that even if it's on a display screen, the signature, the non-font of that seems more authentic. And I really saw
Yeah.
this as being kind of a personal, empathetic guarantee. Like, hey, we get it, we understand, that's why we're here to help. Like, this is really positioning you as an understanding guide to those moms, to the story that they're experiencing.
Mhm.
Okay, follow me?
Yep. Hang on. Go back
Yep.
here.
Yeah, sure.
All right. The husband, father, and certified IQAir expert. Can we change that to, healthy home expert or something? I just want to get it off the brand names.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't want to be about the brand. I mean,
And you know what else you could do? In the US, you could do a common law trademark. Doesn't need to be registered anywhere. But by putting TM, you're saying that I just basically coined this as my phrase.
okay.
So it doesn't require any registration. It's called common law trademark, and you could easily throw it on there, and it seems more substantial to the viewer, but it's a way of just saying, hey, I'm coining this as a phrase that yes, I am this. That's all it is.
Okay. That works for me.
Let's do it. And I love leading, by the way, your title as husband and father, because who's going to say to that is the mothers of children. They're going to say, okay, he gets it. He knows that I'm not trying to just call an HVAC company. I need somebody who's a family person that gets it. So I very intentionally chose those as your title.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Again, think wireframe here. So your designer can make this come to life in your brand palette. But these are the three kind of outcomes. 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is derived from your wife's endorsement testimonial. I had more time with that one, so I was using little snippets of it. But now that I've got all of the other surveys in, we might find other one-liners from there that we want to replace it with.
Okay.
And again, I'll get you the PDF of this. Just want to be sensitive to your time this morning. The 3-step plan right here. So request a call, healthy home evaluation, sleep well. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Much of this you've seen, from the brand script as well. Same type of thing here. This could be rotating carousel. This was your wife's testimonial that I story brand, but this could be a rotating carousel of testimonials that we basically from that survey, this is really the home for those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And alternatively, I had a plan B in place if you weren't able to pull the survey together, which you have, and now we're good there. But if not, I was going to say, well, let's use personas here and not make them quotes, but make them more like, hey, we tried everything to relieve our husband or our son's cough. Like make them personas of people that, who we help kind of a thing. But even better now, you have actual reviews. So this is great.
Yeah.
Your families are a priority. So you see the imagery kind of displays what it looks like afterwards. And if they click the read more, then the full brand script pops open. This is the copy you've already seen. But by indexing it with a read more like that, indexing it, Google will scan the whole thing. You got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
It's a way of not overwhelming the viewer, but also leveraging Google's SEO.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a closing panel to the site here. And then the request a call page. which again, you could red pen this up, give some ideas to it. We could make the well-rested child a pop-up, but this could be that checklist concept, or something that,
I
the
like
well-rested.
that.
Yeah, I just wanted to paint a picture of what it could look like for you. Yeah, yeah, the picture.
Yeah.
But I
You
could
get
build.
the point. She's questing, man.
Yeah, right. But it could be like, hey, check these things out. Like maybe there's things that are not related to the HVAC system that you could put on that list from yours and your wife's experience. But then also, it should land. If it's 10 steps, it should land on step 10 being the HVAC system, and needing to have an expert.
Yeah, I've got a list of things that I've been trying to put together. As far as a friend of mine had a PDF and sent it to me years ago, and neither one of us can find it again. But it was called his no-fly zone, and it was just basically everyday items that we use that are terrible for, your breathing.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured I would try to put something similar together, or really get to work on finding that. So
Yeah, great idea. And we could take it. I could design a front cover for you if you'd like, or your design team could do that. We could make it, brand it for you, and it could really look like. I mean, you see how I just kind of mocked this one up. It could look like your product. This is it looks substantial. It's got 3D rendering to it. It looks like it's something big. Click download the PDF. Ultimately, whatever that trigger is, I'm calling it the well-rested child checklist. If we could find something close to that or similar to that, or that could be kind of your focal point of trying to build something like that, that's how I've drafted your email sequence here. So let me just walk you through this real brief here. Are you okay? I mean, I know we're a few minutes over. Are you okay for another 10 or so minutes?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. I just want to be respectful of your time, as I saw we had 45 minutes on the calendar here, but I've got time for you. So the idea is somebody downloads it. Here's the email sequence that comes to them. So the first email is just delivering, because we need to get Scott Copeland's email address on the good list for them. We don't want you to be perceived as spam. So the first email is just saying, here's the PDF you requested, because the goal is to get them to open it and to save it. So that Google recognizing that this is a friendly person. We can continue displaying in the inbox messages from Scott Copeland. Okay. So thanks for downloading the Well-Rested Child Checklist. Here it is, download here, and we could easily make that the link to the PDF itself. We know how exhausting and scary it could be to lose sleep over a child's coughing throughout the night. We've been there too. Our guess is that you download this guide for one of three reasons. One, your family struggles with asthma attacks, coughing, or wheezing. You just can't put your finger on what's causing it. Number two, you tried but failed to stop the cough with medicines, doctors, and all sorts of remedies. Number three, you're just sick and tired of surrendering a good night's rest to coughing spells. Well, whatever got you here, know this. Your family deserves to sleep well and safely in your home. We hope this checklist brings you one step closer. Sincerely, and then your smiling face, Scott.
Okay.
And then I'll let you go ahead and read through email 2 here. This is where we start to kind of position the brand of affordable heating and cooling to be able to solve more problems slowly. And again, we may red pen some of this based on our earlier conversation.
Yeah, that's good. So I guess what we would need to talk about is the well-rested child checklist and what needs to go. Do you have something already put together for that, or is that what we need? I need to.
I'd be happy to do that. It's beyond the scope of our current work project together.
Okay.
But gotcha. I think if I'm going to make an encouragement to you, that would be the title. Like if you said, "Hey Rob, I want to hire you to story brand this checklist for me," I would probably start with that as the title, because that title matches right up with your brand script.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like that is fully brand aligned, that kind of a catchy title. And then I'd probably make it, in fact, if you want to try it here, Scott, I'd probably put the first page or so would be kind of some story branded, we get it, we understand how you struggle problem language on page 1. Then I would give the checklist. I'd probably make it a 10-point checklist. The first 2 or 3, I'd probably say things related to asthma out there. Number 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7, I'd make them closer related to the home, issues in the home. But number 8, 9, and 10, I would slam dunk HVAC, filter. And number 10 would be trying to do it on yourself isn't going to work. You need to have an expert. Number 10 would be the slam dunk, like absolute hole-in-one. That's the one we want to drive home, the fact that they need to hire you. And then I'd make a clear call to action, the request a call. And I'd probably, if I wanted to put sweetness on the pot, I'd probably say, mention this well-rested child checklist, and your home evaluation is free. Or we have a free booklet for you, some bonus offer at the very, very end of it that kind of compels them to take that action. That's
Okay.
the recipe that I would be thinking about. And again, I'm happy to do, to add that project if you'd like. But if not, just take that as coaching. And again, this call is going to be recorded. This call is recorded, so you could replay this and kind of follow that recipe if you want to take a swing at it yourself, brother. I'm very okay with that. And I'd be happy to review it in our next call if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah, I can at least work on it and see how far we get. But
Yep. And I'll tell you, it's your input in the discovery session is really what you're seeing here. So you gave me all sorts of great ideas. My job as your story brand guide is to synthesize them into sales copy. So if you get started on this thing and you say, okay, I know kind of the technical stuff, but I just don't know how to make it sound like a sales letter, well, maybe that's where I come in, and it's not like from scratch I'm building the thing for you, but I'm shaping it for you. I'd be happy to do that as well, like some intermediate project.
Yeah. Now the thing I sent you, the no coughing, what I was calling a lead generator.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of that could be used here. Is that right? Or
I think we could shape it. I think it needs to be shaped.
yeah. It's got to definitely be shaped, but just some of the points in there.
Yep. In fact,
because I'm seeing a lot of those points throughout the system. So.
Yep. Exactly. I think it could be shaped into it. I don't think it's in its current form ready, but I think it could be shaped in that direction. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let me, I'm just looking at time. Let me walk you through this. So you see that email number 2. Email 3, one family's story of improved health. This is where we're starting to make a shift now, and we're going to start to tell the story. This was your wife's testimonial. Like I said, I had more time with hers, so I used it in more locations, but we could always swap it out, or I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, she got. This is what started it all, so it should be the best one.
And then email 4 is another just kind of sales email. Now we're getting pretty specific about let's do business together. Okay, and then email 5 is probably the highest sales letter, like the most potent sales letter of, okay, it's time. You got to make this decision. Call us today for a free particle scan. Let's get this thing going. So I'm just kind of slowly ramping it up. In the strategy, you'll see checklist downloaded, email 1, email 2, email 3, email 4 on a timeline, 2 days, 3 days. So if you load this into like MailChimp or another CRM software, that's a great way to do it. In the future, we could also write story-branded social media campaign that exclusively focuses on the greater Columbus area and promotes the well-rested child checklist to mothers of kids that age. Like we could get scary close with the demographic profiling, zip codes, and the whole bit of who we want to focus in on. And we wouldn't promote affordable heating and cooling. We certainly wouldn't try to go sell the $20,000 or $30,000 system in a social media post,
Mhm.
but we'll sell the PDF, which then drips a 5-part email sequence on them, which then acquaints them with affordable air, which increases the probability that they'll call in when they have that problem. So there's some
Mhm.
strategy behind that, and I wanted to kind of capture that process here. So I kind of gave you that
So
recipe.
so on those so Facebook, you would charge for the PDF, or is that what you said?
Free PDF.
For free. Okay.
The well-rested
Okay.
child, I would bring them right into that landing page that we have for the well-rested child, and I would say, hey, download this PDF. We would write a social media post that draws people to come in and exchange their first name and email address for that PDF. And if you connect this email sequence to that in an automated drip campaign, it would serve this 5-part email sequence over this timeline. It's basically what I just illustrated here.
Yeah.
And so over the course of a week and a half, they'd become more acquainted with you and ultimately, hopefully, compelled to at least remember you. They'd have those 5 touch points of your brand. And if they were a cold audience that's never heard of you before, that's a whole lot better than, just finding you in the yellow pages. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're going to have that brand recognition.
Okay.
So again, I'll send that to you as well. The email sequence, you'll get a PDF of that, a PDF of the wireframe. The best next step for you, Scott, is to go through that with it could be printed out and go through it with pen and paper and just start marking up. If there's other images that you have, I made the best guess that I could with some of the Google searching and brand names that I came across, but if there's others that you think are more representative, it'd be helpful for you to capture those and send them over. And in any changes that you want to make, now is a great time to be able to do that. I think we have another review. Is it next week?
Yeah, I think so. It seems like the 25th, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I think next week we have an additional review meeting that's scheduled. Yep, 25th.
Yeah.
And so any
At
changes that you want to
9
make
Eastern.
between now and then, I could add them for that review.
Okay. How long what's the deadline on getting that to you before so you can have time to work on it?
Well, if it's a significant change, of course, more time is always better. But
Okay.
I feel, I mean, I don't, certainly it's yours to discern, but I feel pretty good about it. I think we're at least on the 5-yard line, if not a little closer.
No, I mean, I'd probably just things we've already kind of talked about, just the IQ Air Dealer,
there you go.
Zeros, just stuff like that. I mean, it's nothing's major. It's right there. So
A couple days before would be helpful, if possible. So maybe by
how
Tuesday.
many? That's all.
A couple maybe by Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest, if you could. But even so, even if you came into our Friday meeting and said, okay, let's use this time to kind of embed these changes, like we could also do it right real time on Friday if you had them. I just want to give you some time to sit with it, you and your wife to discern, read through it. I'm telling you though, brother, this has been a really fun project for me, especially as I look at where you're at currently with your website. You make these changes. I'm excited to see this as a case study for you. The clarity, the compelling call to action, the brand script. I think that we're really clearly going to lay out a path for the viewer to take action. So I'm excited for that and what it could do for your business.
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready. Yeah, well, it's got to work, man. That the other company called me again. We talked again, and I turned it down officially. So
okay.
So we're all in.
Well, how do you feel about that?
I'm good with it.
Turning the other company down. Feeling
I'm good with that. My wife is she's I guess the one that wants to see me go. And it's because of the stress level. I thought, well, I mean, it's going to be less stress, but less flexibility. I said, so I can my stress isn't killing me. It's not tearing the family apart. I mean, it could be better. There's no question, but so I'm going to hang on. We're going to give this a shot. And if this don't work, then we'll do it. But, you know, I got confidence that it's going to work. So,
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm always curious as well, like, you know, 3, 5, 10-year plan for a business and what you see, you know, like I'm the business coach in me says, well, what's the squeaky wheel right now? Is it if you had administrative support, if you had like an assistant, or is it more technician, or is it just more client work? Like, what is the broken or the squeaky wheel there? You know, do you have a sense
the
of
squeaky wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know which one comes first, but help with the phones, answering it when it does come in, and then leads. I mean, my leads are just, I mean, I do really good with the leads. I mean, I make fine money. It's just I know what the industry average is on how many, you know, how many calls a service technician can run and what most do run. And then I know what I run about half. So, but I produce as much or more than they produce. So, you know, you got that trade-off. So you got two of them. If I could get the phone answered, better. I get it answered and all that. I mean, obviously, but it's, if you had somebody that was their job, and I'm working on that too. And then let me just focus on my job, then, you know, I know we could get to the next step quicker.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's different ways to go about that as well. I mean, have you ever looked into like a virtual answering service, virtual phone support?
Yeah, that's what we've got that. Let's see what. Yeah, that's what we're working on. I've got just a answering service right now. They just answer the phone, pass me the information.
Okay.
Well, these people are more trained. They're going to handle the call much better, and then they're going to, you know, go ahead and schedule it so I don't have to call back. You know, so everything's right there as soon as they call. You know,
yeah.
So the closing rate from there should be way up.
Should be. Yep.
Yep.
Hey,
Yep.
I just took a quick peek at something that you may not be aware of yet. Have you filed with Google your business? Have you gone to Google My Business and filed your company name?
Yeah, I'm on Google My Business. It's not showing up.
Well, maybe I'm not doing it quite right here. So Phoenix City, Alabama, business name. I'm using my agency account. So here's the deal. I don't think I would be able to get this far if you already claimed your business in Phoenix City. I ran into this.
Let's see. I'm pulling it up now. I can see. I've got the mobile, you know, the app.
Yep.
And I can see affordable heating and cooling. You know, all my credentials. I don't have it complete.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where we'll.
And it's specific. It's unique, and this is newish to me. I've just recently become aware of this. Business.google.com. Business.google.com. I would encourage you to go through this process. It will include a verification where they actually have to physically mail a postcard with a code on it to your business. Have you done that?
Yeah, I've done that in the past. Yeah.
Well, maybe you have it then. Yeah, you probably do. But I just wonder why was I able to do that?
I'm looking at my account right here, and it's saying I'm in Chattahoochee County,
Is that
Georgia,
true?
and I'm not. I mean, we do very little out there.
I might encourage you to take a fresh look at that and just audit what Google has on file, because this, you know, people get into Google Maps and they do searching for HVAC companies. They just Google HVAC companies near me. I would want to be sure that you're boosted there. And are you doing any paid ads with Google right now?
Not now, no.
That's something we should explore after the fact. Once we get you launched up, is a Google AdWords account.
Okay.
And because what I can do with this, Scott, if you'd like, and I do this on behalf of other StoryBrand clients as well, I can create a set of search engine optimized terms that we pay per click. And you could set a budget at $10 a day if you want, or you could say $100 a day. You can pick whatever's appropriate for you on a spending budget. But then essentially what we could do is say anybody who searches best HVAC company in Phoenix City, we want affordable heating and cooling to be the #1 result up top. And we'll pay for that. And you could set your budget that when that budget is used per day, you go back to normal search engine. But it just elevates your ranking right up to the top right away. If you could discern with analytics, and we could watch your analytics to say if people are clicking through on Google because of that, and let's say your average ticket is $300, I don't know what that is, but it cost us $50 to get there with Google, we could say, well, if there's enough margin, it cost justifies, let's keep this engine going on Google because it's just driving more and more and more leads to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we could do that for the well-rested child checklist. We could do that for the front gate of schedule your service. We could do that for buy a new system. We could pick, and we could do all three of those. And we could story brand Google ads, and we could story brand Facebook ads and LinkedIn ads and all that. But I think Google for you, because of your service business, is probably going to be your jam. That's going to be where people go.
Yeah, I just was working with Search Kings on that, and man, we got the trashiest leads. Now, obviously, they wasn't story branded, and it was. But yeah, man, I canceled that so I could pay to have this done. The story
Search
brand
King.
stuff done. So,
is that
Search Kings? Yeah, Canada.
In Canada?
Yeah, they're huge, man. They're everywhere.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of guys that we around here that.
Okay.
That's how I got them. I mean, it's not just.
I got you.
They're supposed to be a good one, is what they said. And they did. They did produce my leads now. There's no question about that. It's just not the ones I wanted.
Yeah. Huh. I'm looking. Yeah, Google. Yeah. Well, okay. So maybe that'll be the case, or maybe now that your website's cleaned up a bit, if we implement this new story branded site, now the leads that come in would be more qualified, perhaps.
That's right. Yeah.
But I don't know what out of curiosity, what does a service like Search Kings cost? Do you remember?
I think they charge like $400 a month is their fee. Let's see what they charged on their. They did that retargeting, and they built like 3 ads for that. And that was like $1,000 for that, and then I think it's $400 a month. I don't think there was any other fees. I don't think so. And obviously you had I had like a $2,500 Google budget. Man, that
adds up quick.
Yeah,
that adds up quick. When we get into this, if your designer is open to it on the website side, if you guys would grant me login credentials on the site, I could also install, or your designer could install, a Facebook retargeting pixel. I could give you the code for that, and then that would allow us to retarget an audience. So cheap, inexpensively. So if it costs $1 to get a new lead in the door, to reach somebody as a retarget might be like 10 cents.
Okay.
Kind of give you the idea here. So a lot of times the success that I find with my clients is they'll do new audience campaigns with social media with their initial month or two worth of budget, and then they'll start throttling that down and allocating funds over to the retargeting. Because if you think about it, if you could put your ad in front of somebody 20 or 30 times, you have a higher probability of them remembering you than just one time. So if you could spend the same dollars and retarget an audience to keep them warm, it's actually a better bang for your buck. It's a higher leverage for you. A lot of
Yeah.
times I'll start a client, they'll say, here's $1,000 a month, and we'll split it up between Google and Facebook or maybe LinkedIn. And then we'll say, okay, let's watch analytics at the end of the month and find out which of these platforms outperform the other. And let's put more resources over on that platform. So if you wanted to ever explore that downstream after all this is live, Scott, and putting some real targeted ads together and then watching the analytics, that is also something I could help you story brand if you'd like. And you don't need to be spending $4,000 a month on it. It could be done. You could say $500 a month. You could choose whatever ad spend you want.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, step by step, I'll get the PDF over to you directly after our call here, and I'll get you that email sequence, and then I'll send you also the testimonials that I copywrote based on the survey. If you just want to give some thought and feedback on that, we can review it when we meet next week, Friday.
Okay, that works.
All right. All right, brother.
All
I'm
right,
excited
man,
for you.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You betcha.
I'm ready to see it go. I'm ready to see it go live.
Yeah, I think we're ready. I mean, we're very, very close. And in fact, I guess it's up to you to discern. If you feel comfortable and you want to invite your web dev team to that next Zoom call, you can feel free to share that link with them if you'd like to. Otherwise, we could schedule another one after that and put the web development team on it, and we could. I would just appreciate some time to be able to coach them and share them, the philosophy so that they understand fully the PDF before they just take it and implement.
All right, I'll go ahead and just send them an email. I don't know that I'll invite them to this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I guess till we get everything squared away, and then let's see, to Mitch. Mitch is the guy. So okay.
Yeah.
So okay. And they're usually pretty easy to work with, but
oh yeah.
Just people like that. I mean, I don't want them to think, he don't think we know what we're doing, so he's getting somebody else. So, but maybe they won't. I don't know. But I'll go ahead and start working on that, and then we'll have that lined up.
Yeah, and if you just want to let them know that you're working with a branding company that's really helping you to elevate the brand of Affordable Heating and Cooling, and there's some changes to the website that we'd like to discuss, and that could be basically it. And I'm not trying to replace what they're doing for you at all, brother. But I have found that especially when you've got your own web guy, in that case, you don't need to be explaining to him the why behind these panels. That's why you hired me. I'm your partner in that. So I'd be delighted to coach your web dev team to make sure that they implement it well. But it's up to you. I'm offering if that would be helpful.
Yeah, no, I'll go ahead and work on that now. I guess if it all flows to there, I may go ahead and invite him there, but we'll just see how they take that. So
great. All right, man. Onward and upward.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate it. Just send it over and we'll get to it.
All right. Sounds good, Scott. Look forward to it, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you, man.
All right. You betcha. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.